Everybody goes through things sometimes, so we gotta do it right, cause we got one life.
How's it going, everyone? My name is John L. Barrett. I'm your success coach. I'm excited and delighted to have you listening in. Please check out our Blog Talk Radio show at www.blogtalkradio.com/breakoutyourbox. One word. Today I want to talk about how to handle grief and loss. And I say this from someone who has experienced grief, who has experienced loss, who doesn't have all the answers, but have lived through it, grew from it, and have been able to help countless of other people through their processes. So there's a quote that I want to start off with, and I have to read this quote from verbatim because I don't want to miss it. It's by Arnold Bennett, and it says this: "There can be no knowledge without emotion. We may be aware of a truth, yet until we have felt its force, it is not ours. To the cognition of the brain must be added the experience of the soul." I'll repeat that one more time. There can be no knowledge without emotion. We may be aware of a truth, yet until we have felt its force, it is not ours. To the cognition of the brain must be added the experience of the soul. Arnold Bennett lived from 1867 to 1931. And so that quote still lives true to this day. And so when you think about loss, at a point in time in my life, right after I graduated college and I was looking to make a huge transition to Los Angeles to start my speaking and coaching career, I had, from that transition in that period, I had 7 key deaths in a year and a half. And 7 losses. 2 of those losses were my grandfathers, and I planned both funerals and I eulogized one of my grandfathers, and that was not an easy task at all. And again, there's no cookie cutter approach to this. There have been some possible steps to looking at it. One of those is called the 5 stages of grief, and those stages look like this. 1 is denial, where you don't admit and you're not really processing it. Number 2 is anger. That's the second stage, where you're upset now because of the grief. And then number 3 is bargaining, where you bargain, like, oh, why did she have to go? Why not me? Or so many other people out here are doing worse or deserve that. And then number 4 is depression, as a result of now you're depressed. And then number 5 is acceptance, when you accept it. Another part that is something to ponder was by J.W. Warden. He said the 4 tasks of mourning. So the 4 tasks of mourning is, number 1, accepting the reality of the loss, accepting it, and whatever that looks like. By accepting it, it doesn't mean that you diminish the value of the life that was lost, but you accept that it has occurred, and there's nothing that we can physically and earthly do to bring back the loss. Number 2, experiencing the pain, meaning not to numb the pain with alcohol, drug, or sex, or even a lot of religiosity, but to experience the pain, that it's real, that the loss is real, and the person mattered, to experience that. And then number 3, adjusting to life without your loved one, to adjust to life without your loved one, to not to continue to live in reverse as if they're still there in that process, but adjust to the newness of life. And then the 4th thing would be to finally be able to invest your emotional energy into a new life, to invest your emotional energy into a new life. And here's why. When my grandfather died, my grandfather was ultimately like my father figure. And when he died, I realized a friend of mine kept saying, I was referring to his last days. I would talk about when he was at the hospital, and I would visit him when his health was declining. And then a friend of mine said, you know what, John L., I don't think you have fully grieved. And I said, what do you mean? Like, I planned the funeral, I helped everybody out, and eulogized them. And he said, because you keep talking about the last days and the worst days. You didn't talk about his best days. So here's what I want you to do, because I had to reconcile that, whether it's counseling, whether it's mentoring, coaching, whether you see someone that's in the faith realm, whether it's a preacher, a minister, whether it's a spiritual healer, advisor, whether it's a priest, whoever you need to see for you, with whatever your faith is, the rabbi, you need to move forward in that process. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to remember the good and not the bad. I want you to remember the best days, the highlights of the life, and hold on to those memories. Keep those fond. Also, make it count. Make it count. Make that life count. Make the experience you have with that person count by doing something more with your life, with what you have left to give life. Number two, make them smile. Make whoever or whomever, however many losses you've had, make them smile by what you're doing in your life now. That they're watching you now, and imagine they're walking through life with you. Make them smile by your choices and about how you took on the lessons they gave you to be a better person. And then lastly, make a difference. Make a difference as a result of that loss. Don't let that loss be in vain. Go on, move forward, grow forward, glow. Let your life be a reflection of all the love that they gave you on earth. And I promise you, my friend, that again, it won't be perfect, but it'll be possible. Again, I love you. I believe in you. My time is up. I thank you for yours. My name is Janelle Barron, also known as Mr. B. My time is up. Thank you for yours.
And everybody goes through things sometimes, so we gotta do it right, cause we got one life. Everybody goes through things sometimes, so we gotta have faith, cause it'll be alright, as long as you know